Okay, party people. I'm in an earlier schedule, so I'm feeling a little bit tired, but I don't think I'm in jeopardy of falling asleep at my computer while I do this recap. Now, I've released a lot of videos over the last week because from last week, where I played the Tuesday night Swiss, I played the Thursday night Weaver Adams, I played the New York State Championship, which was 5 rounds, and I played tonight against Arnold Fleishman. Arnold said that, I said, do you prefer Arnie or Arnold? He said, either's fine. My friends call me Arnie. So I'm going to call him Arnie here. It does seem as though, well, I've had quite the busy week. Let me think about it. Tuesday, Thursday, and then 5. That's what? 8 games in 7 days? Sort of. It's a lot of chess. I'm not going to be playing in the Weaver Adams this week because last week I played Zach Tower, where I had a really nice win. I had to just remind myself. I'm not going to be playing the Weaver Adams this week. It's the last week of it. Haley's tournament to win or lose, because instead I'm going to be working. And I'm not going to be playing a weekend tournament for a while. So my schedule kind of chills out after tonight. Originally, I was supposed to play Cam. I've never played Cam before. Cam is like mid-1900s. I don't think he's ever crossed 2000, but he's been very close. I figured I was going to have my hands full. I was trying to remember what he plays. I don't really look at other people's boards very frequently, but I have seen some like weird moves from him. So I think he plays just like garbage a lot. And it's actually unfortunate because I don't really know necessarily what to do against garbage. So it also meant that I wasn't really going to prepare. I had already played a lot of, my white openings at the New York State Championship. It didn't go that well. So I just figured, you know what, not enough time to change course. Let's just play my usual and hope for the best. When I arrived at the Boylston Club, I had sweet greetings with Matthew Wesley. We actually did the same thing last week. I meant to comment on that, which was nice. We enjoyed our salad and had a nice little chit-chat. But I kind of had a feeling the pairings would be swapped, and lo and behold, they were. Arnie won the mid section last month. I think he is listed as 1565, something about that. And I think that seems about accurate. I don't really know much about his game or his play style because, well, I've never played him before. So let's just jump into the action. I play d4. I'm really considering swapping to an extent, but I'm going to at least let it ride for a little bit longer. And he plays knight f6, which actually I'm very glad to see because everybody and their mothers are playing Jobava against me. So here I'm going to get a good old Trumpowski. The Trumpowski. There's a lot of possibilities in the Trumpowski. But Arnie plays the most prudent, the most principled one, which is knight e4. There's a few moves here. The main move is bishop f4, which is what I like to play, and it's what he played. There's a few moves in this position as well, believe it or not. But he plays the most principled one, which is d5. I consider this the main line because I think this is the most common response. And white is supposed to play f3, which is what I do. I told Arnie that knight d6 is very bad, but I don't remember why, to be honest. So, yeah, I know that f6 is the right move. You basically just move it back. But I'm trying to remember why this move is so bad. I told him I was just going to play knight c3. And apparently it's not even that bad. Okay, so maybe I'm wrong. I just know that it's an accuracy. I just don't know how to take advantage of it. I think I said because in a lot of lines, his queen is barred from defending his d-pawn. So it kind of forces one of these two pawn moves with a kind of off-kilter knight. Really, I don't think there's anything too bad about that. But I just wanted to highlight that because I remember in the post-cap mentioning that. And by the way, at this point, Arnie is going to start thinking. Throughout the entire game, I had a very small time advantage on him, but like nothing significant. But the clock will come into play. I believe my notes or my prep is that the right move is knight c3, which I play. And then there's a lot of possibilities from black here. This is the book move. So I know this stuff. I know c5. I told him c5 was the main move. He said he was afraid of c5 knight b4. So instead he plays the more conservative c6, which I don't think there's anything bad with it. I mean, it's the right move. But yes, c5 is the most principled move here. And I told him I don't think I actually have knight b4. I'm pretty sure I don't. Yeah, it's because of this check. And after check, you just have to move back because you don't have e3 played yet. So you have to set it up. All right, whatever. Again, I haven't reviewed any of these lines in a while, so it's nice that that I remember my theory and stuff. And again, I don't think c6 is a bad move. I think you see it online fairly often, but it's not the best. I know c5 striking right away is the best approach. And the whole point, and like this is where I'm booked through like 8 moves, and because I play this again, I play immediately. I play my first 7 moves immediately, and it's just to strike out immediately with e4. As you guys can tell, I have a really strong center. I'm putting pressure. I have pieces developed. Arnie's had to kind of like move his pieces back and forth. And taking is quite bad for him. I get like a very strong center. I'm able to take with the f pawn, so I can play knight f3. He does play the best move. e6 is the best move, and he just locks up the Pyramid of Giza. My move is bishop d3. All right, cool. I do blitz out my moves here because I did remember them. But sometimes when you blitz them out, you don't always remember why they're the best move, especially if you haven't played something for a while. So I know that this is the best move. I play it. And in the post cap, Arnie said that, through 8 moves, because he does a long think here. He goes down to an hour 10 for the record. Remember, you start with an hour and a half. That's the Tuesday Night Swiss clock here. And the thing is, for the record, as soon as I play this, I know this is the right move, and I'm booked up again, like one more. I start worrying about pawn takes, and for the record, what does he play? He eventually plays bishop e7. Is bishop e7 the best move? It is a solid move. It is one of the bishop e7 is the best move. So I hope Arnie is happy with himself. He said he didn't like any of his moves here, and I have a small opening advantage. Like the opening was a win for me. He does find the best move. But for the record, I was a little bit afraid of takes because I thought that I have to take with the bishop. Apparently, I can still take with the pawn. And I can sack this. For the record, God, I noticed. I watched back some videos. I say that a lot. It's maybe ingrained in my mind. I actually was strongly considering pawn sacking here. If he does go pawn takes, and he tries to take this pawn, I actually was just looking at the knight. I thought I was going to play knight e2. What are they like? They like knight what? I didn't see this move. Apparently the winning move is knight b5 here. Because you're hitting the queen and you're hitting the fork. I hope I would have seen that, for the record. Did I just say I was not going to say that more often? Well, I think that's also symptomatic of me just being tired. Arnie said he didn't even consider taking the pawn. And God, I'm just stopping myself. I also know that this is not a good move here. And I told him that I told Arnie taking this pawn is bad, which it is. And I told him that I was ready for him to play queen b6 because there's a whole line where you let them take. Because this is a poison pawn variant, and I know this is just like really fun for white. It's nothing like winning, but it's like a plus 0.8. Like this is what you want to do. And I told him there's actually a line where I could try to trap the queen. The most prudent is just to do this. And I told him actually I was going to castle. I was going to let him play here, and I was going to castle. I was going to play this position. I thought this was great. I think it is great. You give up a pawn, but it really doesn't matter. All your pieces are in play. You're castled, and that's what I was going to go into if he played queen b6, which is, okay. And I told him immediately I was going to play this move. Gee, okay, cool. All right, I'm glad I remembered my poison pawn variant stuff. Maybe one day somebody will take the pawn against me. We'll see. Happens online very rarely as well. So, all right, after bishop e7, I know that this move is pretty good. I'm considering, as far as candidate moves, this is where I do my first think. Again, I'm booked up through this point, and I'm pretty sure my notes say knight ge2. Basically, you want to lock everything down. You don't actually want to push or take yet. You want to have tension in the position. You want to prepare yourself the option of castling. So I think that's the best move. Yeah, knight ge2. Okay, cool. All right, I'm glad I'm playing the best moves, remembering my theory, because I had to remember from this point. And after here, again, I'm pretty generally booked through 8 moves. Now I'm kind of on my own. I do have, I'm down to an hour 24-ish. Arnie's down to an hour 3. So I have about a 20-minute time advantage, and I somewhat sat on that the whole game. That's only, I don't want to mention the clock too much. Now, the crazy thing is when people play c6, it's very rare for them to play c6 and then c5. But Arnie thought for, 8 minutes here, and then he plays c5 here. And I, for the life of me, thought that this move gave me a lot of trouble. Now again, I still have a small advantage. White is like plus 0.5. I've maintained my opening at edge. I've played the opening well. But this move really took me by surprise because, well, I do a 15-minute think here. This is a critical moment because there's so much tension in the position, you know? There's so much potential. There's so much dynamicism. There's so much I can do, bearing down. Hopefully I'm just even highlighting some of the ideas that I was thinking about in the position, that it was almost overwhelming. Now, I kind of calmed myself down, and the first thing that Arnie is threatening is he's threatening c4, trapping the light square bishop and probably winning the game. So I can't let that happen. So one way that I could not let that happen, I'm going to actually play the move I played first. I end up playing d takes c, which I think is the best move. Like, I was pretty happy. Yeah, I played d takes c5. I thought after 15 minutes that all my other options seemed not that great, so I ended up taking. It is the best move. I thought if I play bishop check, I thought his best move was king f8. He said that he wasn't even considering this. I'm curious if the computer agrees. And I thought after king f8 that my bishop was actually maybe getting kind of offsides. Apparently it's not good for him, but I was very concerned because I thought that there were some lines where he could still land c4 and my bishop was getting trapped. Computer's best response is just to block with the bishop. Maybe that's what he would have done anyway, and it's an equal position. So, all right. So I looked at that. I looked at moving the bishop. I then look at moving the knight with the idea of threatening these forks right away. He doesn't have time to move it, and basically allowing c4. My idea here was I was going to sack the bishop, takes, get this position, move it here, and then take. And I told him that I strongly considered this, but the problem is, oh, this is very good for white. So what should he have done then if I play this line? If I play knight out here, oh, I end up ruling. Okay, he could just castle, and it's equals. I also thought he could actually just play knight a6. Yeah, which is kind of a Joe Baba-esque. You're back covering the square, and I can't go bishop takes. And he's still threatening c4. In fact, I have to play c3 so I can just dip and dot. All right, so I was looking at that. I was looking at e takes, kind of absolving the tension. Here, obviously, he can't push because I can just take. And this opens up my bish. I was looking at e5 because I'm faster. If he plays c4, I take, he takes, I take, he takes, but I take with check, and then after he takes, I can just move. And so I looked at that. That's winning for white. But I saw after I push, he can just simply move the knight, and I thought that was his winning move, and I thought black was a lot better. Knight fd7. Yep, knight fd7. And I thought, yeah, -1. Okay, looks like I'm diagnosing the situation correctly. So, needless to say, after he plays c5, knight b5 was still a reasonable move. I really strongly considered this. Computer liked it, and then they don't. And now the check, they like it, now they don't. All right, it looks like I found the best move, but I was really confused here. This was my first critical thing. I literally, genuinely spent 15 minutes here. Again, this is the threat. c6, c5, c4. I thought check, he could just get out there, and I'm getting kind of stuck. I looked at the knight over here, but I thought after all this and like those trades that he's actually better. Apparently he can just castle. I don't think e5 works. I did look at ed, but it looked like the best move was just to go dc. And the reason why I think this is good, and Arnie was saying that after I played this, he was really struggling. He spent another almost 10 minutes because it's not so easy. I don't think he can take the pawn back right away. Why can he not take the pawn back right away? Well, I thought, he thought as well, after pawn takes, I can just play knight b5. He still hasn't castled, and if I land knight c7, I'm going to win an exchange. Yeah, castles is his best move. Apparently he can take bishop takes, but I was prepared to play knight b5 here. Knight b5 is fine. It's crazy. I thought that this was very good for me, but it's not. Because I guess after he castles, there's not really a problem. Because after knight c7... Oh, he can slam the door apparently with c5. This is hard to spot. After c6, he's hitting the knight. Then if I drop back here, he now is de. I mean, this is very confusing, as you guys can tell. Like, justifying all this stuff, and then you can play here. I don't know. I feel like this is really hard to calculate and find all of those follow-ups. Yeah, I'm gonna actually say that I think that if he actually does take the pawn, I can play this move, because that's really hard to find all that follow-up sequence. Anyway, he doesn't. So after the opening was a pretty big success, I feel pretty good. Arnie just kind of shrugs and castles, and the state of the union is that my pieces are out. He still has two that are not. I have one extra pawn. I'm only one move away from castling. So, like, life is good. Obviously, I knew that the opening was a big hit. I knew I was better. The only question is how much. And the computer doesn't say it's anything special. It's plus 0.5, but still pretty good. I take stock of this position. Zelajo stock of this position. And I thought I found something kind of clever, but it does not seem as though it's one of the top moves according to the computer, so it probably is not that good. In fact, Arnie and I both agree that this was probably the wrong path for white. So, what can I do? I can just take, which opens up my bishop, which is kind of what I want, and like maybe he gets an isolated pawn structure, which I think is good. I considered b4, but I looked at b4, and then after knight c6, there's nothing special. I look at e5, but I thought that as long as he can land knight fd7, he's like hitting both the e pawn as well as my advanced c pawn. I thought that he's easily winning one back. So I look at all these lines where I can maintain my pawn, and I think playing for the extra pawn was cocky of me and wrong. And I realized that the reason why my pawn struggles to be supported is once I play b4 is that he has this move, knight c6, a developing move that hits everything. So I started calculating all these bishop takes lines. And I think bishop takes, rook takes, b4. I'm up a pawn. Like, how bad can it be? And after 10 minutes, again, so I actually, this is where I almost go, like, equalize this time. So he's down to 54 minutes. I go down to an hour 2 because I've spent so much time on the last two moves. I finally pull the trigger, and I say, a pawn is a pawn in the Russian school of chess. He takes, and I play b4. I'm actually curious if this is just really bad for me or just a little bit. Yeah, this is just really bad for me. And I just try to lock up my pawn. I just try to hold it, hodl it, and I play b4. I thought, this is fine. Like, I'm up a pawn. They seem decent. No, this was a big mistake. I was looking at b6 and, like, you know, developing like that. I was looking at all these e5. But this was obviously the wrong idea. I just was going to make him prove it. Instead, Arnie finds a pretty clever idea, which is sacrificing the pawn. He plays d4. I'm considering... I end up playing this move because I thought I'm backwards hitting the pawn. Obviously, e5 is coming, but I thought I could maybe take this pawn. But in this position, I was also really considering e5 with the idea of takes. But I thought after takes, I've given back the pawn. He maybe has a good diagonal, and it's not so easy for me to win this pawn back. So I thought I was worse here. Yeah, I am. So I didn't like that at all. Instead, without wasting a beat, and remember, Arnie is slow on a lot of moves, so a few times he moves immediately. He plays e5. And at first I thought, okay, like I'm up a pawn, like I can undermine e5 at the right time by playing f4. And my whole idea was to take another pawn, but I got a little bit worried about taking the pawn and then having him play bishop d7. I also saw all these lateral checks picking up my knight at some point. So I was scared here. And I think I should have still played knight takes pawn, maybe. Yeah, it looks like that's the best. That's the greedy line. It's what I should have done. But I play another move. Arnie asked me what my ideas was with this. It looks like it's still a pretty good move. I told him I wanted to expand while basically I saw this reroute path where I could land a knight on c4, targeting the e5 pawn. Because I saw there, like, again, in this position, and I did see all this, that if I do nothing, he's got bishop takes on c5, and after pawn takes, he goes queen check. Obviously, if I block, he just takes, and then he's actually, in big trouble. But he mostly can just take and pick up the knight. Not here. Oh, if I took the pawn. Yes. Basically, if I take the pawn, here, I'll show you what happened here. After e5, I play a4, which is one of the better moves according to the computer, but apparently black is better. I saw here, and I thought he has bishop takes, b takes, queen check, and then after something such as running with the king, he just picks up my knight. And I thought it's like impossible to defend this pawn. I've kind of given up the pawn that I really tried so hard to preserve. I would have ruined my ability to castle. And so I really didn't like that position. So at the end of it, I said, I'm not going to take this pawn. I'm going to just try to reroute and just play the position from there. Arnie kicks my knight. I immediately drop it. The reason why I thought this move was better is because in all these lines, he's just targeting the pawn immediately, and I never have any discovery. So I thought that's an easy way for him to equalize the material. But he finds another plan that's pretty clever. He immediately plays a5. If I go pawn takes, he goes bishop takes. He would be bringing the heat as well as threatening checks on b4. My double pawns would probably not be very good. And so I thought that he's playing pretty well. I'm down to 52 minutes. He's down to 45. I play from knight a3. I go to knight c4. And my idea is I'm still hitting this pawn. He can't defend it with the bishop. The only way to defend this pawn is by playing queen c7. My original idea after queen c7 is just to go knight takes. And this is what happens. He plays queen c7. After queen c7 lands, I spend 6 minutes because my problem is I look at knight takes and he still has, after knight takes, bishop takes, pawn takes, he now has queen takes knight. Check. And I thought that position is not good for me. So I think and I think and I think, and I say to myself, all right, I'm in this far. Let's try to just hold the material. I go b takes a5. And it looks stupid, but it also looks like I'm going to be up a pawn because he will obviously take one back when all is said and done. And I'm really trying to hold on to my material. Yeah, the computer prefers... I saw this, knight takes, and then of course after this sequence... Oh, because the computer doesn't want to take back with a pawn. They want to just defend. But in this line, I saw all this. And after here, he just takes back. And I saw this position, and I thought that this was not special for me. Apparently it's fine, it's zeros, but I wanted to do better than that. So I go AV. I'm really trying to cling, clang, clune. Not surprisingly, Arnie goes bishop takes, and I am desperate to hold this pawn. I feel like this check is coming. Maybe I'm putting myself in harm's way. I consider queen b1 and queen d2. I also consider rook b1. Those are my 3 candidate moves in this position. I'm not... Okay, I do play the best move. And I was vaguely consider castling and just like letting him have the pawn. But I am going to ride and die for this pawn. I play queen d2. Arnie plays bishop e6. His idea is just to trade off the knight and then soften the pawn. He can also kind of unload on my c-file. And I have to do another little thing here. I'm worried about these kind of lines where he totally squizzle-squazzles my queen. And I also notice I can't castle here. If I castle, he's got a really nice tactic. Bishop takes knight, bishop takes d3. It would be check on my king, and the pawn would be moving, so he'd win material. So I thought I have to move my knight, and I've got to try to shore up my defenses. So I play knight c1. I like this move. The idea is to reroute it to b3. To hit the bishop, protect the pawn. Simple. Simple chess. Clear the way to castle. I will check all my moves with the computer afterward, but let's keep going on with the game. Not wasting a beat, he plays Bishop takes. I play bishop takes. I calculated all the discoveries. None of them, obviously if he moves here, I can just take. None of them seem to do anything. So I was feeling pretty confident about this move. And Arnie plays queen e7, re-establishing the threat of bishop b4. As you guys can tell, it would lose me the game. I rerouted the knight originally to go to b3, but when he plays this sequence, I instead reroute to d3. I'm now again shoring up. I'm also attacking the bishop, and I'm attacking the pawn. I thought this was a very well-placed knight, and I really liked my position at this point. Like, I mean, I'm curious if I'm better. No, it's pretty equal, but I felt like I was in a good shape here. After knight d3, Arnie plays rook b c8. He's just totally trying to laser down. The light square bishop is definitely like under long-term threat. And I play a move that I think simplifies the position, but I don't think it's the best move. Spend 3 minutes on it. All these lines I'm worried about, like checks or pins, backwards winning this. I just take. Arnie said that this was a mistake. He thought, I think so too, because I think my knight's actually pretty strong here. I probably should just castle. Looks like I can play a6 as well. With the idea of takes, I can take, and I'm immediately hitting his rook. And if he doesn't take, I can take myself. So yeah, maybe that would have been the better play. After takes, it's not like it's a bad move, but it's clearly moving backwards. I thought he was going to go queen takes, but instead he does not. He plays rook takes c5. And now my bishop is en prise. I spent 3 minutes here. Maybe this wasn't enough time. I thought that the most active square was b5, because it kind of like laterally defends my a5 pawn, which is my extra pawn. I thought bishop d3 was the most passive, and I thought, which is what I do, bishop b3 was long-term lasering this diagonal, as well as overprotecting the c pawn. I also briefly considered queen b4, which pins the rook to the queen. All of those seemed good to me. I really was struggling here. Yeah, after the game, Arnie said that he thought bishop d3 was the most passive, but what the computer thought was the best. Looks like I can play queen b4. Instead, I play bishop b5. Excuse me, and bishop b5 is reasonable. Looks like I play the worst of the options here. Bishop b3, they do not like this move at all. This is just a bad move. Yeah, and it's because of the move he played. And he played rook c3 immediately, and I'm going to be honest, I missed this. And I definitely missed this. This is a very well played move by my opponent. And now black is better. He's starting to come in. He's going to load up. He's got some sacks at some point. He's got d3 looming, which obviously if I take with the pawn, he can then go rook takes bishop. So there's a lot of tactics now, and I'm in a lot of trouble. Maybe not a lot of trouble, but I went from liking my position to doing the good old oops. I only have a 10-minute advantage on Arnie as well. I realized that I need to get my piece into the game. Yes, I'm passive, but let's just castle. So it's funny. Not often you see a move 23 castle, but that's what I did. I'm actually curious if it's the best move, because it's just funny to wait that long. Yeah, it is the best move. Cool. But I'm in trouble. And in the post-cap, we both agreed that black has got to be better here. We both knew it. Plays queen c5. And I thought the threat was just simply to win back the pawn and just have material equality. But, I mean, the more sinister threat, of course, is d3 looming. He also has d3, which, again, checks. So, I feel like I need to break this discovery. I thought my king is going to be safer on h1. I just say I don't want to worry about any of these shenanigans. Let's just play king h1. After I do that, he plays rook c8. He has built Aliekin's gun successfully. And I'm passive. Like, it doesn't matter that I'm technically up a pawn. He's going to win it back at any point. It seemed like a good move. Without missing a beat, I play the best move. I mean, I feel like this is a very obvious move to play. I spend 0 minutes on this one. I play rook ab1. And the reason why it is the best move according to the computer is in the lines where he pushes, I can't take because it leaves my bishop undefended. If I have a rook on the b file, it means if he pushes, I can just take, because then he can't actually go rook takes bishop, because then I can go rook takes rook. Hopefully you guys see that. I also thought that if my rook is on b1, I have some bishop takes, rook takes b7 ideas as far as some active play. All right, cool. Best move. But I also knew that I was in worse shape. Arnie he goes from 21 minutes to 14. He's really struggling to find a move. And the problem is anytime he moves his knight, I was prepared to play f4. It's what I wanted. And I thought if he moves the knight and he lets me get f4 in, obviously he can't really take. I finally activate my rook. The reason I can't play it now is he would just go knight takes e4. The computer likes h6, just making some luff. That's a GM move here. I don't think it's that hard to find, but it takes away queen. Actually, the move I was worried about. It takes away queen g5, which is my active plan. It also gives him a luff square, and he has so much time that he can just afford to improve his position. Rook e8 is the other idea, but it's hard to move the rook to make the gun and then move it back. All these knight reroutes probably don't work. Instead, he just takes the pawn, which you can't argue with that. It's the third best move. I think it's very normal. And it's not like, this is what I said. Arnie said he didn't realize that at first he made this joke, and then he laughed. And I was like, yeah, no kidding. He said, I really love playing positions like this. And I said, without missing beat, I said, what, positions where you're a little bit better? And he's like, yeah, I guess I just like playing those. And yeah, it's easy to see. After he gobbles the pawn, our material is equal, but he has a space advantage. His king is a little bit safer. Mine's kind of tucked in the corner with back rank problems. I'm never able to push this past pawn, and I'm very passive with the tied-in queen where he has pressure on the c-file. This is not winning. This is just black is slightly better, and it's definitely more comfortable for him to play. The problem for him is that he's down to 14 minutes, and I'm at 30 minutes, so I have double his time. I also think that he has to really grind me down. There is no knockout blow. He has to continue playing well and making good moves. It's not so easy to do that. I decided to go for counterplay. I see that there's no way for me to kind of get in here. Everything is locked down for now. I was worried about long-term, him wiggling in the queen, but it's still pretty slow, again, to renew the threat of either rook push or d3. That's what he has to play for. So I play queen g5. It makes sense to me. I want to force his queen here to tactically defend the e-pawn. I had ideas of h4, h5. I thought this has to be a good move. Yeah, it's the best move. Okay, cool. Figured it had to be a good move. He plays queen c7. And I feel like this backwards move, he's kind of sputtering, not sure what to do. I decide that I need to attack him. Also, I need to get luffed. I feel like h4 makes a lot of sense. I now have breathing room in case there's any back rank problems, but I'm also threatening to play h5, h6 with a mate. He can never bump up because then it leaves his knight on pre. And this pawn, and my bishop is doing its job of pinning it, where it's not so easy for him to stop me. So I play h4. I thought that I was getting the counterplay that I desperately required. He plays h6, bumping my queen, and I play queen f5. I told him after the game that I thought there was a small chance that he'd play g6 to try to kick the queen. Obviously, number one, I can just take the knight, but number two, I could even take the pawn because it's pinned. So I did say that I thought that he's now loosening the structure, and my queen's actually pretty safe. It's hitting this pawn. Long term, it's hitting this pawn, and etc., etc. So I actually thought that this is a pretty dynamic position when we arrived. And the big thing is he's down to 11 minutes. I'm down to 29 minutes. I just have a lot of time to kind of maneuver. After queen f5, when he plays queen e7, he's trying to be super solid. This way, I thought that maybe there's still a chance. This is where I thought that maybe he played g6, which would obviously lose the game on the spot, because I can go queen takes. But I really think long, and I think hard. I spend 5 minutes, and I think I have to go for it. I play f4 here, and I'm curious if the computer likes it or if they don't like it. Now I should just play h5. I thought I needed to open up a line, and try to bust him open. Unfortunately, as soon as I play this, I told him I think he played the only move in the position. It is the only move in the position. Everything else is not good. And again, I'm pressuring his clock a bit. After a few minutes, he's down to only 9. He does, in fact, find rook 8 to 5, which I didn't see initially. And as soon as this is played, I realize the problem, which is I'm pretty sure I have to go takes. He goes takes. And now he's hitting the queen, he's hitting the pawn, he's blowing open the middle of the board. I'm in trouble. Here comes trouble. I spend 7 minutes here. Excuse me, I spend a couple minutes. I spend 2 minutes here. Okay, 2 minutes. Because there's really only 2 moves, right? I can drop to f4, or I could drop to f2. Everywhere else I can be captured. So I feel like those are the only 2 moves in the position. I play the best move, queen f2, and it looks like I'm actually losing here. I thought after I do this, he would go rook takes. I was going to pin the rook. We were going to play this position. He's up a pawn. I have a long-term threat. He's down low on time. To my shock, I tell you, I think rook takes is winning. I think rook takes is the winning move. Yeah, rook takes e4. To my shock, yeah, it's the winning move. Again, I was going to pin, and we're going to just go from there. To my shock, he goes, I got to turn off the computer for this one, because this is a wild position. He plays knight takes e4. I'm like, why would he allow this? He spent 3 minutes on this move. He didn't have a lot of time. He goes from 9 minutes to 6 before he finally plays knight takes. And hopefully you guys see what's now happened. I am coming alive. I thought minimum it's equal, but I might be winning. Now, hopefully there's a lot to take in because it's a very complicated position. He has this knight fork. He has this knight check. I have a pin and a check. Yeah, so I basically have 2 moves in this position. I can go bishop takes, I can go queen takes. I first calculated queen takes because I thought that that's like bailing out, and I thought minimum that's good for me. Because I can go queen takes, he has to go queen takes, I can go bishop takes. I thought he might even move into the check, or he moves away, and I thought in that position, and this is the line I ended up going with, I thought in that line I can move my rook so that I'm never forked. And in that position when the dust settles, I win the pawn back, and I open up my rook to infiltrate on the 7th. He might get my pawn, but I'm actually faster, where I thought I just have all the play, where I line up the piggies in the blanket, and I think I'm in better shape than him. So I know queen takes is good. I just have to see it now. It is, yeah. And of course, I have to look at bishop takes, because I have to see if that works. So I start calculating bishop takes. For the record, I then, to my credit, I'm very happy with myself. Very happy with myself. I have 20 minutes to start. I use more than a third of my time. I use a little more than 7 minutes calculating this because I feel like this was the next critical moment of the game. I have to choose right. And the problem is, after bishop takes, after king h8, I was really having trouble finding a move. I saw this, but I saw that after, like, here, I mean, I can't go here because I lose. So I would play up. Sorry. This doesn't work. So yeah, I was really having trouble finding what I should do here. Yeah, and the answer is there is nothing I can do here. I'm just lost. So I'm glad I didn't go into this, because again, I got that far with my calculation, and I really couldn't see a follow-up. So it looks like I had one good move. I play it. I force the queens off. For the record, I can't hold the record. FTR. If I go rook takes, this loses, because he can go rook takes bishop, and then obviously he wins mine. So I have to play bishop takes. He says he doesn't know if he should move if he should have moved the rook over, or excuse me, the king over. I'm curious if king f8 is a move. It would have been the wrong move. No, he plays the right move. I mean, Arnie, you know, he played the right move. It's king h7 all day. And this is a draw. This is a drawn position, sort of. It's just super, super wild. And we're not done. Arnie's down to below 5 minutes, and I'm down below 13, because I used that long thing. After king h7, I think I found the best move. I'm really, really, really proud of myself. I find this move. rook f4. I'm curious if that's what the computer likes best. No. Do it. Rook f3 is better? What's wrong with this move? Oh, nothing's wrong with this. Nothing's wrong with this move. But this is slightly better. I thought I was laterally defending here. I was setting up long-term pressure. Yeah, I don't know. I like this move. I thought this was like an accurate move. Arnie crashes in with rook takes c2. And I find a clever move. Obviously, I can just gobble pawns. But I actually play rook b6, threatening bishop check, winning all the material. Rook b6. Yeah, it's a good move. This is a draw, but it's like a draw where it's hard. It just becomes wet and wild. Yeah, this is a good move. I also think in time trouble, this is probably the most complicating move to play. So I play rook b6. I spent 2 minutes on this. And yeah, he has one good move in the position, and he finds it. He plays rook c6. I will go over the computer after, because this is, you know, a crazy, crazy game. After he drops the rook back, now I take the pawn. I feel like I'm pretty forced. I gave him a chance to blunder. He doesn't blunder. After rook takes on b7, he just shrugs. He's like, I'm going to push the pawn. Stop me. And I get worried. I think to myself, maybe I can't stop the pawn. Maybe I'm in a lot of trouble here. Maybe this is a big problem. I look at h5. Hard. I look at king h2 just getting out of these forks. Problem with h5, I thought I was setting up like a mating web. Hopefully you guys see that. But I thought if I play h5, he's got knight check, I move up here, and then he just takes. Maybe it's a draw after the dust settles, but I didn't like that. So instead I dropped my bishop back to b3. I thought I have to protect the d1 square. And I thought that there are a lot of lines where I'm getting behind and I can gobble up the pawn. It's defended, it's also looking after my pawn, etc., etc. I thought this was a good move, but apparently, I'm sure the computer is now going to say I'm losing. Okay, apparently this was a bad move. Oh. He missed this fork. So did I. We both missed this fork because, why do we miss this fork? Well, he's down to 3 minutes, you know? Okay, interesting. So that's why that can't be played. He just pushes the pawn instead. After this move, I now play king h2 because his threat is to go check, move, queen, takes, he's up the piece. So now if he goes down, which he does, I don't have to move my king. And if he pushes, I just take. So after king h8, king h2, he now plays rook c1. And I see in this position, I get excited. I say, oh my god, I think I'm winning. I have the winning move here. Yeah. I play rook ff7. And I see a mate. Computer does not, which means it's not there. But I see if he can queen, and I don't even take. That's the crazy thing. I'll show you what he plays. He realizes that this is a problem, so he has to run with the king. But if he queens, for example, I saw check, only move, check, mate. Can't go here, It's taken away. So I thought that this is just checkmate. He plays h5 is a move. Oh, wow, that's a really hard move to find. So Arnie, he was down to 2 minutes. I mean, I can't blame him for not finding this. But this is the defense, because now after I take, he can run to h6, and I don't have a mate here. Go here, g6, and this guy might just be getting out of the jam. Wow. Wow, right? He's getting out of the jam here. I guess this is a draw now. But he starts running with his king, and for the life of me, at this point, move 39, I feel pretty good about myself because after king g6, I am down to 7 minutes, and obviously I take the pawn first because I feel like that is obvious. He plays king h5. I have 6 minutes on the clock. I spend 4.5 minutes trying to find a checkmate here. I'm proud of myself. I use my time. Arnie is down to 40 seconds. I've written down 40 seconds. And I don't see it. I just don't see the checkmate. Okay, looks like I did find the best move, which is good. I look at g4. I look at bishop f7 check. I spend 3.5 minutes of my 6 minutes, 4.5 minutes, excuse me, looking for a checkmate, and I just don't see it. I didn't find it. It's because it's not there. And to my credit, I play the best move. I play bishop d7. My idea here is I'm stopping the queen. I think I'm winning anyway. Arnie is down to 40 seconds. Unfortunately, I also noticed, by the way, that if my king is on g3 in this position, if I'm able to play it, then mate is unstoppable because then I am threatening bishop backwards check because then my king is protecting the h pawn. I'm taking that away. Unfortunately, his knight is defending, and in time trouble after I play here, Arnie blunders. He plays knight f6, and right away I made him because after here, boom, checkmate. And I play g3 on the board with a minute to go, and gotta feel what a nice guy. I mean, again, as is the case, almost everyone in Boylston is very, very nice. I play this move, and he says, "Is this checkmate?" I say, "I'm sorry, it is." I had seen this position, and in time trouble, I'm down. This is the lowest I've gotten in a game. I got down to a minute and a half. He was down to 30 seconds, and I guess I beat him in time trouble, but it was quite a game. What a riveting game. I'm going to first save this. Let's add this to game collection. This was in the June Swiss. Let's do a game review, and then I am definitely going to look at this one under the microscope because what a game this was. What a game. What a game. 83%. Yeah, look at this, right? Ooh, apparently he missed. So black was super winning at a few different points, but I capitalized at the end. Not the highest accuracy, but this was a really wet and wild one. Looks like he played better in the opening than I did. Okay, well, it is what it is. It looks like I didn't get a ton from the opening. I mean, my openings as white, it just really have not been great. I feel like this actually is really underselling the complexity of the position. But all right, just for kicks, let's go through it. Okay, this is all normal. I know I'm booked up through here. I land e4, it's good. Plays e6, play the best move, bishop d3. This is the best move, kudos to him. It's the best move. c5 is great. I thought this was problematic. I still play the best move, which is good. Castles. Yeah, they don't like this. I should have just played e-takes, which is what I looked at. And just try to get an isolated pawn, basically. And I have threat here. This is the position I should have played. Instead, this is too clever for my own good. Bishop takes. Rook takes. Just because I saw that I could hold this pawn, and I was going to make him prove it. Take it from me. b6 is better immediately, both opening as well as just chipping away. I saw that he lands here. I play knight b5. It is the best move. Yeah, I should have committed with my plan. I should have just taken the pawn and just been greedy because it's what I needed to do. A4 was not the best move. They like my reroute. Yeah, I thought he would just take the pawn, and I was going to take this pawn, and I thought this was fine for me. Okay, he can take another pawn, but I thought this is fine. I thought with the doubled b pawns and just the isolated d pawn, I thought I was better here. Computer doesn't agree, but you know, what do computers know anyway? Let's try to keep the analysis on as we do the computer stuff. So I don't take the pawn, and when he pushes here, I should still go into this line, which is what I calculated this, and the difference is, well, I guess I would have gone B. I would have taken like this, and then here, gone here. We would have arrived at this position. I probably would have castled here. And this is just a position. There's nothing special for white here. It's literally zeros. Instead, I try to maintain the material. I'm greedy. He takes. I move my queen up. He attacks me. They like knight b6 better. Just giving back the pawn like that. Okay. Knight c1 was one of the better moves. I liked my plan here. The reroute takes. And I was considering rook b1 here as well. But I thought knight d3 was the natural blockading move. Yeah, computer likes this. It's the best move. He moves over. I was considering a6 as well, just kind of trading it on my own terms. And like this is probably a mistake. I could also just castle here because I'm not worried about him pushing because I have the blockade, so I can just get this rook into the game. I probably should just castle here actually. Dropping the bishop right away is a move as well. Instead, I take to try to resolve the tension. Definitely a mistake. And this is where I spent a while, and I really wasn't sure where the bishop belonged. It looked like I really wanted to put it here on b5, just to keep protecting this pawn. I was just worried that he was going to have too easy of a time of like loading up, after something like this. Yeah, now the computer says I actually have to go back to d3. So that's why I eliminated that move. Anyway, I dropped out. He finds the best move, and as soon as he lands this, I really didn't see this. I did think he was better. I liked black's position, and yeah, black is better here. I have to castle. He triple stacks. I like queen e2 better. Can't say I understand fully, but no problem. I just thought I should get out of this, get out of dodge. Doubles up. Easy move to play. He takes the pawn. Computer still is saying f4. The problem with f4 is I thought that he could just go knight takes. Apparently I have to move like this. Guess now here's take. Okay. I mean, this looks bad for white, but okay. I shouldn't spend too much time. I'm just kind of going over my moves. Here, f4, and then the move I played, I think is the best move in the position. An active queen g5. He moves his queen back. Rook b d1 is apparently the move. Instead, I play h4. I thought I liked my move. h3 is a little more conservative. I thought h4, h5 was like the plan here. I find the best move. Moves over. Yeah, maybe I should actually just move my king. I was considering it here, but I just went for it. I said he's low on time. I didn't see this move. It's a great move. I thought I was ripping him up, immediately attacking and bulldozing on in. I thought this worked, but this was outstanding. And as soon as this lands, I realize I'm actually in a bit of trouble here. I take. He takes with the rook. I play back. He just misses it. Yeah, if he takes with the rook, I was going to play rook b e1. But he said after the game, after the post cap, he missed this move, rook c e, and black is just much better. So he wasn't sure what to do here. If he doesn't see this move, just playing something like, again, a king move, and black is still winning. I suggested this move a lot just to get out of these pins, this problem. But anyway. As soon as he takes, I steal away my chance. I act on it. Queen takes, bishop check here. It looks like I played very accurately here. I like my move, rook f4. Computer says rook f3 is slightly better. He shouldn't have taken this pawn. Best move, rook b6. He blocks. Now I take best move. He pushes, best move. I was looking at h5. I just thought that he would go check. Yeah, queen g3, or knight g3 here, and he would take. No, not g4. What do I have here? Rook g4 now. All right, I'm sure it's like some kind of draw. We miss this fork. We both did. Instead he pushes, so he misses opportunity. This is equals. I play the best move, king h2. I'm glad. His better move here is just like, I mean, everything is equal now. He has no advantage. He's lost his opportunity. He moves down. I love that I spot that I could let him queen, and I just take the 7th. And I thought I'm mating him. I thought for sure. I did not see h5. So that's the move he has to play. It's like an impossible move to find when you have 2 minutes left. He doesn't, and I'm winning. I take with check. He goes over here. Find the best move because I looked for mate. I had 6 minutes left. I go down to below 2. I really used my time here. I looked at everything. I looked at g4. I looked at bishop check. I looked at setting up with the king. Obviously there I get mated actually. I saw I was taking away these squares. This doesn't necessarily need to be defended. And I saw all this. I mean, I'm happy. And at the end of it, I saw I did not have the win, but I can stop the queen, and I can probably just, again, he can never move this knight. I don't think he realized how important that knight was. And as soon as he does this, he blunders mate in 2, and I find it. And I'm thrilled, because I did see the mate in 2. Goes here, and I checkmate him. And I checkmate him right away. So, yeah, I mean, I'm happy with this game. I mean, again, the computer doesn't say the accuracy was super high, but it doesn't matter. I think I mostly played a pretty good game here. Thanks for the game, Arnie. I need to get my points back from this past weekend. I'm doing not too shabby in the month. It's a 5-rounder in June. Looks like I am on 2.5 points. I lost to Alexander. But I drew Anish, who beat me this weekend, of course. And then I've beaten both Arnie as well as Zach. My last round, I'm playing against a guy who I believe, Daniel Blauvelt, I think is unrated, I think. We'll double check this. He's in his provisionals. Looks like he's done pretty well. I think he's in his provisional. Yeah, he's not played a single classical over the board game. So maybe he's nasty. Maybe he's terrible. I don't know. I think he's actually pretty good because I think he beat Ilya. He was on the board next to me tonight, and I think Ilya is quite good. So I don't know what happened that game. I have no idea what happened that game. Actually, I was really just focused on my own. He lost to Krishna. I lost to Krishna in a completely drawn equal position, which is a bummer. But Krishna's a pretty good young kid. He beats Anish, I'm like 1-1-1 against Anish, and he drew Ben. I drew Ben too. So this guy is probably quite good. He's almost for sure not 1950, but he's probably quite good. All right, I'm going to call it on that. I think this has been a good recap, just under an hour. Good game as well. I think an entertaining one. Yeah, peace out.